So here we are back again in the beautiful city of Leptis Magna for the second part of this Discover Libya series that we're doing here in the city. I mean, like the last time we were here, we've seen so many beautiful places. And after my journey here the last time, I just found it something upon myself to go back and read through about some of the places that I visited. And I really hope that viewers of the program do the same and read up about this beautiful page of history that we have here in off the city of Homs. I'm looking forward to meeting our friend Mahmoud. He's on his way, and we're going to, because we weren't even able to, it's such a big city, we weren't able to record everything in the one visit. And so we're back here again for the second part, where we're going to see some of the wondrous landmarks. I mean, some amazing places that I know from that I've seen before, like the amphitheatre and some other landmarks that I'm sure Mahmoud is going to explain about. Oh, Mahmoud, you're back.
Yes.
Good
Hello.
to see you again.
Yeah,
How are you? Hope things are good.
All right.
Everything good?
Beautiful day.
It is a
weather.
beautiful day. What, did you make your way traveling? You?
Well, this is my way in the old days when I was young, and to come to Leptis Magna, I used to walk along the beach.
Beautiful, huh?
It's always fun to do
I can
that.
imagine, I can imagine.
Yes.
So I was just explaining to the viewers, we weren't able to finish everything in the one visit
Yes.
because it's so amazing and such a beautiful place. So we're here for the second part.
Yes.
Give us a little idea of what to expect today.
Now, we have done quite a bit last time, but today we try to sum it up, and now we have reached the old part of the city. This is the oldest part of the city. This
Because
is where,
it's the port,
yeah, very close to the
where-
port,
where it all
the
began.
sea, yeah, the sea and everything. Now, as you can see behind us here, if you go miles and miles from here, you're going to see traces of buildings, columns and stones and everything. And all this area is still unexcavated yet.
Just
So
as you
there's a
said.
big potential in the future for more work to be done here in Leptis Magna.
Just as
and
you said, yeah.
as I said in the beginning, 60% of Leptis Magna is still buried underneath the sand and the mud. And this is,
Still trying to get my mind around that, you know?
well, I think it's, when we say 60%, we are exaggerating a little bit. I think it's more than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought you meant exaggerating as
No,
in
no,
it could
no,
be less.
No,
It could be even more.
Actually, yes. The truth is more than 60% is still buried. And if you walk miles and miles from here, you still can find a sure thing that there's, it's going to be something underneath.
Under the ground.
Yeah.
And what we might think of as housing places and stuff, it could actually be more symbolic buildings.
Exactly. Now, most of the archaeologists believe that these are mostly housing and residential areas. They could be wrong. There could be other public buildings still there. We don't know yet.
So, where are we going to go our first place?
Now, we're going to stop here near these columns. I remember the last time we talked about some of the columns. They were shipped from Leptis Magna
Sure.
to everywhere, to France, to England, to Malta, even in Libya. And these are some of the columns that were left by the French council, Monsieur Le Maire, the French in the 17th century.
What, they
He-
just
he
didn't have
shipped them
enough.
all the way to here, close to the sea, and then it was very hot to ship away from here. So he left them near the sea, and they're still here even today.
So that's like a mark of his caught red-handed. He left even some evidence behind him.
Well, he actually wrote it in his notes that he left some columns near the sea.
Okay.
So-
So that's the proof, the
Yeah,
evidence
that's the
still
proof.
there.
Exactly, that's the
Okay,
proof.
so what's our first stop that we're going to go to?
Now we're on the way to the theater. From here, you can see a glimpse of the theater, big theater here.
Yeah.
And then in the way, we're gonna stop by the market, the Punic Market, small temples in the way, and we make our way through the other places.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Let's do this.
Yes,
Come on.
let's go.
So, what a lovely run to have, a lovely walk, huh?
Well, it's always a pleasure to be at Leptis Magna, believe it
Yeah.
or not. It's every day you find something that you think that you never seen before.
Wow. So, where's this first place that we found on our way, please, Mahmoud?
Yeah, now we are heading toward the theater, but in our way here we can see there's a small temple. Okay, as you can see now, this is the temple of Serapis. This is one of the Egyptian gods worshipped by the people here at Leptis Magna.
An Egyptian temple.
Yes, an Egyptian temple called Serapis. One of the temples that were the gods that worshipped by the Romans in here. everybody knows the story of Cleopatra and Mark Antony. We all know the story of the relationship between all the Egyptians and the Romans. Yeah, very common story.
Movies.
Yes. Now you can see this temple here is very small temple. The altar here in the front, people would come here to the temple, bring their animal to be sacrificed to their gods. What's so interesting about this temple here is the columns and the Roman, the marble they use in here. Very beautiful columns in here.
It's like a whiter color or something.
Yeah, it's like a gray and white marble. Very beautiful marble. And you can see the temple at the top, the altar in the front.
So here maybe it's like a trough maybe for the blood or something, for the animal being slaughtered?
Yes. And you can see it's marble, being all faced with marble. Again, the story of marble being used everywhere here.
Yeah. And I see some inscriptions on either side of the wall as well. That possibly
This Latin inscription
some
is
kind of
everywhere.
inscription towards,
Usually
the
these are
prayer.
inscriptions for somebody who dedicated something to the city or to the temple or whatever.
Wow. Amazing. Still standing in its place.
Okay, now we're gonna make our way to the market. Okay, to the theater, and then before the theater, we're gonna stop at the market, the Punic Market.
Okay.
It's one of the highlights of the city here.
Okay, let's do
All right?
it. Let's see it.
Yes.
Mahmoud, where are we now?
This is the Punic Market. This is where lots of the trade takes place. Lots of people gather up here. So this is done or built before the Romans have come here to Leptis Magna. It's called the
Okay.
Punic Market. And the guy who built this place, his name is Hannibal Rufus. We called him Hannibal. It's not the guy from the Carthaginian. This is another name or another guy. Okay? Hannibal, he built the market. And the market here is divided in 3 sections. This is where all the goods and the buying and the selling takes place. We will move to the other side where we're going to see the fish and the meat market, the chicken and the meat market.
Okay.
And then in the other part here is the vegetable and the fruit market. And then in the other side here is where the olive oil, the clothes, souvenirs, everything that takes place in here.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay, so let's move to the other side there
Okay.
to show you where we used to have the fish and the meat market.
Fantastic.
Okay, now as I told you, here a few years ago we used to have counters here, and these counters were faced with dolphins and different kind of fish. Chicken.
Where exactly? Where would
Here,
these be in?
here,
Somewhere here?
these places here. We used to
Okay.
have counters in here.
Okay.
And as you can see, this is one left here, just traces of a leg of a chicken,
the
or a
base of
griffin,
one. Yeah.
griffin or chicken here.
Yeah.
And so these are all counters along this side. The fishermen, they bring the fish in here to the market.
Would have stood
place
somewhere
them
like here,
Yeah, and
chopping, cutting the. So
Maybe-
like a marble top or something
exactly,
like this. and they would-
marble counters.
And they would have been washing it away, like the
Exactly.
fish markets of
Exactly,
today, I
exactly.
suppose.
This
Yeah.
is the idea. So this is the place where all the fish and the meat market takes place.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And you can see the background here. As you can see, this is the forum. We were there in the forum and the
Oh,
basilica.
the new forum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is the new forum, the Severan Forum. So
Yeah.
we are very close. Everything is attached together.
Yeah, it's a lovely city. You know, the more I spend time here, Mahmoud, the more I wish I was a part of the city back in that time.
Yes. Now,
We're going to go this way?
yeah,
Okay.
we will head to the vegetable and the fruit market.
Okay.
All right.
So this looks like some kind of a separate building within the place. There was a roof over here as well?
Yes, it's an octagonal shape place. Another section in the market where vegetable and the fruit being sold in here. As you can see, now the salesman, he will stand up here, lay all his vegetable and the fruit in here. The shoppers will walk around to do their shopping.
Ah, I
Okay?
see.
What we have here inside is it's a small bath for water. So they fill this with water.
For washing the vegetables?
Yes, exactly. People use it for washing and cleaning the vegetable with.
And then to put it on display for the
Exactly,
customers.
exactly.
So even at that time, in that era, they would have had that sense of it's the eye that eats.
Exactly. And as you can see, all the shoppers will walk around, and the salesmen all around the circle here.
And the quick thing just that strikes me is for such a big city with, like, say, 80,000,
Yes.
would this have been the only place to buy?
Probably more than that, but this is the main one.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
Because
this
I'm
is-
just thinking to myself,
Yes,
to supply so many people would
Yes,
have to be very
exactly.
busy.
With the 80,000 or 100,000 people living in the city,
Yeah.
probably will have more places for
throughout
as
the
market.
city,
Yes,
shops and stuff
exactly.
like that. Yeah.
The interesting thing about this place also, the architecture or the design, as you can see the twin columns here in the corner.
Do you know something? I was just when I first walked in, it's the first thing that caught my eye.
Exactly.
I was saying
It's,
such.
in every corner, it's octagonal, 8 side, and in every corner you can see the twin columns with the Ionic capitals at the top. These are
True.
this kind of capitals they call Ionic, where this one is the Corinthian capital.
Okay.
All right.
And what does the Ionic symbolize?
Just a different style. As you can see, the wing it's got the victory wing here always.
Wow. It's the first thing that captured my eye when I walked
Yes,
in.
and you can see the marble, different kind of marble also here.
Yeah.
And that will lead us to this part here of the market, another place where lots of things to be sold in here. The important one here is this place here. They believe from the inscription here and with the symbol of the two ships in here, they believe this is the place where the office of the man who does all the export business.
Like the customs. Like
No. If you have goods to be
paid-
shipped away from here, you
okay.
come here, you sign the contract, and then the goods will be sent to the
Sent.
port.
Wow, wow.
Okay.
Such advancement. Let's have a
Yes,
look. Let's see.
yes.
Okay, Mahmoud. Where are we now?
Now this is where a lot of things takes place in here. I mean, a lot of goods to be, ready for, to be sold in here. As you can see, all these windows represent different shops in here. So people will walk around here to do shopping here, and every window will present different merchandise for sale.
So if the viewers on the 360 are able to turn around to the far side behind you,
Yes.
you're able to see exactly what Mahmoud is explaining.
Well, now as you can see from this shape here, very beautiful design. All these windows, as you can see from the other side, these are different shops.
Okay.
And that reminds me a lot of very beautiful design for McDonald's nowadays.
True. the arches, the golden arches. Yes, yes.
So you can have people can come to this window here and make an order for something, and you can go to another window and make an
And
order.
pick it up. So that's where they got it. They
Yes.
got it from Leptis Magna.
Exactly.
I see.
So now here, windows all around with the circular shape in here.
And we see this as well. They still have the same twin arches again.
Exactly. So
Wow,
this is
such-
not marble; it's the limestone.
Uh-huh.
But the idea is still the same.
Same, yeah.
Here we have a jar holder here, as you can see. So people who have, let's say, jars full of olive oil, for example, or wine for sale, this is where they place their jars in here.
Okay. So, and would they be glass jars? Glass?
No. It's
Pottery.
Pottery.
Yeah,
Exactly.
pottery. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So this stop it from falling and this kind of thing. so-
Exactly.
So this is like, this is another sales point here.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's one sales point, and this is another sales point.
Another
I
sales
see.
point. And here we have a sharpener.
No way, still here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Remember this. Of course, this piece of stone would be firstly would be placed near a water well.
Uh-huh.
After using the ropes so many times, the ropes will make these sharp edges. Later they bring it here to the market so people can use it as a sharpener.
And they'd actually bring the metal or something and
The
stone.
ropes makes these
Okay,
edges.
the rope makes it, but then how would they sharpen? What would they sharpen? They sharpen
knives.
oh, knives
swords.
and stuff. Okay, so between them,
Yes.
yeah. Wow. Still here till
Another
now.
interesting thing they have in the market here, the measurement. This is a beautiful piece of stone. They use it for measurement.
It has the marks on it still?
Yes. So now we used to have two a few years ago. Now only one is still left in the market here. But the idea of this thing here is how they measure small quantities. For example, seeds for agriculture or spices. What do? You cover from the bottom and you fill it up.
Okay.
And then you take the lid off, everything falls
Falls down,
Like
wow.
let's say this is 1 kilo, half a kilo, quarter of a kilo.
Wow.
So this is how they measure things.
Wow.
And you can see these stamps, that mean it's legal by
by the government or
Exactly.
by the empire.
It's approved by the government.
Amazing.
So this is how they measure things in here in the market. You see nowadays in our market nowadays we use marta, right?
Yeah.
This is how they measure quantities of wheat or rice or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, marta, very close. Something close.
Same kind of idea.
Yeah, the same idea.
Amazing.
As you can see, very, very beautiful design here in the market.
What these large squares that are...
These will have wooden beams. So this area is all shade in here.
Yes, hole in the roof.
Yes.
I see.
So they will have like a wooden beams
Yeah.
coming like this. And of course, it's all covered with a shade all the way around.
Amazing architecture. You just got to applaud them for such architecture back in that time. I mean, wow. It's breathtaking. I'd love to see this market working. I'd love to see the people here again, you know.
As you can see now, you're standing here, you can see, you put your merchandise here for sale, and people walk around here. It's nothing changed from nowadays. It's the same idea.
You can imagine how many transactions came along this piece of stone right
Yes.
here. Huh?
Yes.
Really brings you back in time. Amazing.
All right?
Okay. Where we go next?
Yeah, now we are heading toward the theater
Oh, the
for entertainment.
amazing
Yes.
amphitheater.
Now we had a very long day after a very heavy day of work. Let's now go to the theater and relax. Enjoy the orchestra, the music, maybe some plays.
Is Pavarotti playing tonight?
Maybe we'll check it out.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Wow, so this is before the theatre, Mahmoud.
Well, now we are entering from the back of the theater. This is the backstage, actually.
Okay.
Now, before people go to the theater for performance or for music or entertainment, the performers, they come to backstage here to do rehearsal, practice. Also, they have a temple here where they pray to their gods also.
The god of the acting or the god
Exactly,
of theatre.
yes. As you can see, this backstage is a very huge area surrounded by these granite columns all the way around. And in the middle, places where they practice here. As you can see, a lot of area where they practice here.
Okay. So they need the space for them to act out a scene or something like this.
Exactly. Now, in Leptis Magna, they have restored the seats, but not the backstage. With the original theater, supposed to have 3 floors high backstage.
Okay.
Okay, like in Sabratha, they have restored the backstage, but not the seats. Here, they have restored the seats, but not the backstage.
Okay.
Okay, the theater is a huge building. Now we're gonna make our way inside the theater to the stage.
One thing I want to ask you, just while we're
Yes.
here, I find it unusual.
Yes.
The use of this red brick here. Have you any idea why that's being used?
You're gonna be very clear once you are inside. You can see is coming like with the decoration inside the stage.
Okay. And then
Okay.
we'll have a look at that.
Places now they use it as changing rooms, for example,
Okay.
and other places.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let's see. So, how would you describe this place, Mahmoud?
Well, this is what we call the glory of the city. This is where people express themselves and to show their history, to show their literature, their poetry.
Artistically.
Yeah, artistically here.
Okay.
So this theater here, it's mainly for music entertainment.
Wow.
For
Look
yeah.
at that. What an amazing place. Wow.
So people here, they come here to watch the performance, the plays, poetry, literature, music, orchestra, everything.
Wow.
Okay. So of course, this is inside the city. This is where for performance and entertainment. Outside, the amphitheater for the gladiators and everything. But
Yeah.
this is different. This is only for amusement, entertainment in here.
This is more, how would you say it, more relaxed, and you know, if you
Exactly.
were more poetic and more artistic, more cultural, more.
Exactly.
And so it was very important for them to nourish these kind of things back then.
There's a lot of stories being told about what takes place in the theater. Sometimes they talk about in some action or in some performance, even bachelors, they were not allowed inside the theater here in some cases.
Why?
Well, they think that in order to be invited to witness some performance, you have to be couples.
Okay.
Okay. As you can see, the theater here is divided into different sections. Where, for example, these lower seats for VIP people.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see it's ranked by different names, different groups of people.
So in front of these stones, you mean there would be people here?
There will be cushions where people sit down,
Uh-huh.
and these are very important people.
Okay.
And then as you go up, then high-ranking soldiers, businessmen, and so on. So the higher is the lower class.
Okay.
Okay.
They're
The
really
orchestra,
closer.
the music will sit here in the front, and as you can see to the right, the royal seats in here, very obvious. These are the royal seats.
And behind this. So
Yeah,
this
that's
is the-
pediment there.
Okay.
Okay, that place is for royal seats.
Okay.
This theater can have maximum of about maybe 4 to 5,000 people, spectators.
Wow.
Okay. Still, even nowadays in Libya, we still use this theater for music entertainment, celebration, where people play some folklore music, some dances, some local music, and so on.
So still has even that kind of a
Yeah.
an echo and sound, and has that
Well,
kind of.
the echo is very nice in here. If you climb up to the top and I speak from here, I don't have to shout. You can hear me very fine.
Wow.
It's very beautifully.
And was there, when you look at these columns at the back, was there a roof over the whole?
Well, there is supposed to be a timber at the top, and you can see traces of a second floor seats.
Like balconies?
No, second floor. This is the first floor.
Okay.
It's supposed to have a second floor seats at the top.
Wow, so it went even further back again,
Exactly,
or even
it's
higher again.
quite high still.
And was this closed roof or open?
No, maybe a little bit roof, but not everything is closed.
Okay, so there would have been open.
Also, the backstage here, as you can see, in Sabratha, they have restored the backstage 3 floors high. Originally, this place also is supposed to be three floors high backstage.
Wow.
But here they have restored the seats, but not the backstage.
And would this part here have been? This is where the actual play was played, is it?
Exactly.
In this
Stage.
spot right here, this is the stage. Okay.
Also, underneath the stage in here, one of the excavations that took place at Leptis Magna, they discovered about 13 graves belonging to the Phoenicians.
Okay.
And the Roman, they believe that the Roman came and built the theater at the top of Phoenician cemetery.
Oh, was that on purpose, do you think? Or
No, just the
in
city
any
expanded. Maybe
Okay.
one day it was a little bit
Okay.
small town. Once the city expanded, they had to
through
build
time.
more buildings and so
Sure,
on.
sure.
Yes.
So this would have been the main stage here.
Yes.
And this like the way it goes back here, was that for any reason in particular? Or was it
This is one of the entrance to the backstage.
okay?
And there's more entrance from the other side and the other side also. But I can see some decoration at the top.
But a play would have been like tens of people, actors maybe, and
Some of the plays are what you call with no talks. They don't talk. They just perform.
sing.
Yeah, no. The acting shows
Oh,
everything.
okay, no vocal kind of.
Exactly.
yeah,
No vocal.
yeah.
Normal.
And so there would have been, I think, maybe these gates as well, maybe for extras or carts or something or
could
anything.
be to
or-
enter anything inside the stage.
yeah.
Maybe carts or people or maybe any tools they need to help them.
And
to
can you
perform.
tell me, Mahmoud, these entrances here and these ones down below, so I'm guessing that there's a network of tunnels inside and.
It is. These are, if you follow these tunnels, you end up outside from the outside.
It brings you
So
all
these
the way.
are entrance.
Okay.
Those are entrance, and these are also 2 main entrances in here. I want to show you here the labels that shows at the top.
Sure.
Because the guy who built this theater, the same guy who built the market, Hannibal. Okay, he was a rich man from Leptis Magna, and as you can see, the labels here it's written in Latin and Punic, the local language.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see the name Hannibal in the third line, Hannibal Ornato Rufus.
Yes.
This is the man, and you can see the last word is said dedicato, dedication.
And so this is the same man from the markets?
Yes, okay.
So he must have been a rich guy.
Yes, so he built the market, the theater and the market.
Wow.
And when he built the theater, he dedicated to the Emperor Augustus in the 1st century AD.
Wow.
So you can see the Latin inscription, and then that's the Punic.
Down the very bottom.
Yeah, that's the local language, the Punic language.
And would there have been any was the Punic seen as a backward, old-fashioned language,
Exactly.
second-class language?
Exactly. In the old days, if you don't know Latin, that means you are uncivilized person.
Wow. Okay. See.
Now, if you would go up to the top, you will have a fantastic view to the whole city, the sea and everything. And my advice, when you go up to the top, don't look back until you reach the top.
Okay.
You will ruin the surprise.
Okay.
All right?
Let's go and do it. So
All right.
I'm looking forward to it. It's breathtaking, really is. I think 360 viewers, I'm sure you're having a really fun time now watching everything that's going around you at the moment. Probably so much information for you to take in. But I think Mahmoud has done a really good job at explaining to us, and the viewers at home, if we're looking across and seeing this beautiful theatre, the amphitheatre here at Leptis Magna, the expressional note of the city here, you know.
And we have the whole theater for ourselves today.
Yeah, nobody else. How's your acting?
All right, not bad.
Let's go and do a piece. So Mahmoud, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this that street that you spoke about, Dikemonis?
Yes, this is Dikemonis, one of the main streets in Leptis Magna. Supposed to go all the way to Carthage from here.
So this would have been, and this great monument here, this great arch is the Oya, the Tripoli one?
Yes, this is the Oya Gate.
Okay.
Oya is the old name of Tripoli, of course. So this is one of the main gates to the western part of the city. Now we are leaving the city from here.
Okay.
Okay, and you can see this is a big gate and a big wall around. Okay, we're going to see
let's have a look.
the wall from the outside. So.
So this was a lot of traffic would have come and went from this gate here.
Yes, this is one of the main entrances to the city from here, in the
Okay.
western part.
I can see actually here, it's kind of like,
It's a big gate. So you
and
can see the lock.
the mark, and is this the mark from the carts
Yes.
going in and out? Look,
Exactly, the tracks.
so it's actually taken away from the marble over years and hundreds of years.
Yes.
Same again over there.
Yes,
So this would have been where the cart jumped across. Yeah.
exactly.
Wow. And it would have had some kind of a steel.
And they can see the marble, traces of marble.
Okay, even
Even
yeah.
the gates were decorated with a lot of marble also.
Yeah. A nice marble at that.
Yes. Now, as we leave the city here, lots of the rich people, they don't live in the city. What they did, they moved outside of the city and built a big and beautiful houses and villas. And this is where we're heading now. We're heading toward a beautiful Roman villa. It's called the Huntinc Baths. We
Okay.
discovered outside of the city wall.
Okay,
This is-
wow.
you can see here, the city wall here. But now we just left the city now.
Would these have been like security huts on the
Exactly.
left and the
Yeah,
right?
it's like a watch bridge here.
Ah,
Okay,
so
watching
they-
towers.
So it would have been like had to be well secured here
Yes.
from any invaders or anything like
Exactly.
this.
Exactly.
The barbarians would
As
have
you
at the
walk,
time they called
this
them.
wall goes all the way to the sea from here, and goes away, a long way from here, also to the south from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Along the outside of the city.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we've left the city of Leptis Magna.
Exactly. Now, just if you move a little bit further for the city here, yeah, you will start see some Roman villas. We're gonna see just a glimpse of one of the beautiful villas built outside the city wall here.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Have a look. So Mahmoud, our first stop outside the city walls.
Now, we just left the city now, and the first thing we see here is a very beautiful villa. It's called the Huntinc Baths. A lot of the rich people from the city here, they used to build nice houses and villas outside of the city wall. And of course, as you can see the view here, very beautiful near the sea, near the beach. This villa here has got very beautiful rooms inside, private baths, jacuzzi, everything.
Even the shape of the architecture, all
Exactly.
the domes
This
and the
was all
arches.
covered with sand.
Wow.
Okay, so it was when they excavated this place, it was all covered with sand. Now the doors are not open for public right now, but as you can see the shapes inside.
And even outside, you have some outer buildings here,
Yes,
probably for the workers.
very nice
or the staff.
garden outside
The
also.
garden, yeah.
Yes. And this is not the only villas that we have discovered outside the city wall. A lot of them from the east, from the west. The other one is very famous one is Villa Celine, which is about maybe 30 kilometers away from the city.
Out again this way.
Dar Bukamera, which is in the from the eastern part, about 30 kilometers also. Beautiful villa where they have discovered a lot of beautiful mosaic and painting and everything.
And nobody ever found out who these belong to. There's no way
Well,
yet.
they said
Yet.
during the Severus time, when our local emperor became the emperor of Rome, he granted a lot of the retired soldiers beautiful houses of the outside of the cities as a gift from the emperor to those high-ranking soldiers.
I think there was something you were telling me about earlier on about something that I think it was Septimus said to his sons.
Yes.
He had two sons, and he told them one of the most important things, one of them being to look after your soldiers and
Yes.
to make sure that so that they would keep power no matter what. Don't fight against each other.
When he was dying,
Mhm.
in his campaign, when he went to England in a battlefield, he got sick, and he was too ill to join the troops in the field. So he had two sons, Gita and Caracalla, and when he was dying, he gathered them and he told them something very precious. He said, "Don't disagree among yourselves. Give money to the soldiers and despise everyone else."
Okay.
That's his
so
last
don't
advice.
Don't even worry about anybody else. Just once you look
Take
after
care.
your soldiers and don't fight amongst each other, you will have. Keep
That's his
power.
last advice to his sons.
Oh, very wise advice as well, I think.
Well,
It kept them in power for a while after as well.
Caracalla. Well, they were disputing among each other after he died.
I think
Gita and
Caracalla
Caracalla.
became an
Yeah,
emperor,
but
didn't
he wasn't getting along with his brother Gita and everything.
he? Okay, so I think very important thing we want to ask you about this huge, great city after taking this journey, and
Yes.
believe me, Mahmoud, it's like walking through. It was like walking through that period of time
Yes.
from your incredible descriptions of each place that we were in. Each time you described something, I would close my eyes and I would picture myself back in that place. And I suppose the main question that struck me and still striking me to now is, what is it that killed this beautiful city? What is it that brought the city from such glory to ruin?
Well, I would think of four things in here. One of the main things that, the city started because of the harbor, the natural harbor.
Okay.
And as the city grows, the Roman enlarged the harbor and made it bigger and bigger for the big ships to sink in, and
the lifeblood.
more
Business
money, more business. As the Roman enlarged the harbor, they made something. They made a mistake, unintentionally, where they connected all the small islands in the harbor, so there were no current flowing inside the harbor between the river and the sea.
Oh, that's going to cause
Year
problems.
after year, the harbor started to fill up, and by the 6th you know, by the year 600 maybe AD, the harbor started to silt up, and that meant no business, no ships.
So it actually
a lot of people
closed
had
up,
to
it
leave.
actually filled with sand and
Exactly,
it closed
sand
up.
and mud.
Okay.
The other reason, a lot of tribes, they call them the barbarian tribes, who used to attack them constantly, and a lot of people they feel that they
There's
are
no safety. There was never
yeah,
safety.
not safe anymore here in the city. That's another reason. The third one would be the plague. They talked about a very epidemic disease that struck the city in the year maybe in the 6th century AD. A lot of people died and a lot of people left.
Okay, so when you're in an overpopulated area, if one gets disease like that, it's going to spread so quickly.
Exactly.
So it was,
Exactly.
you know.
So these are, I would say, these are the most important things that made the city abandoned. And by the 6th century, that was the end of the city.
Okay. Well, it's a shame, to be honest with you. I would have loved to see this city until this day be an amazing landmark.
One thing to say that, we are very thankful to anyone who did any excavation and restoration in the city along all this period of time. The Italians did a lot of work, the Americans, the British, the French. A lot of these archaeologists, they came to Leptis Magna and did a magnificent job in rebuilding some of the monuments and the ruins in here. But as I said, Leptis Magna needs a lot of work, needs more work. Maybe more than 60% of the site is still buried underneath the sand and the mud. And hopefully in the future, we hope to see more people coming, try to help and excavate more ruins in the city.
Well, that's why on my behalf, the small little bit that I can do is maybe hopefully for somebody to watch this program, see what you said, maybe rekindle the love in somebody's heart and make them chase it up and do more for the place. That's what we're trying to do.
It's an open invitation.
Yeah. Well, listen, Mahmoud, it's been absolutely fantastic and such a great time traveling around the city with you.
Okay, it's a pleasure having you here.
I'm sure all the viewers are very thankful for your great descriptions.
We try to do our best, and I hope everybody enjoyed this tour with us.
Thank you very much.
You're okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I think it's time to go home and get some fish and
All
maybe
right.
go to the Frigidorium and the Caldasium and then have a chill, relaxing time.
All right.
So there you have it, folks. The amazing city of Leptis Magna. It's been an absolute honor for me to go around today and check out all these different spots and part of part one as well, and show hopefully the world out there something that one of the other gems of Libya that's been hidden away for so many years, whether by the 42 years of the old regime or the decades before. So like I said at the very beginning, Leptis Magna is a World Heritage Site, meaning it's a universal place, city for people from all over the world to come and visit. And I really do hope that people out there in Europe or in the States or in the East really do get a chance to see this beautiful city and experience what we have done here today. And so, Hussam Najjar from another amazing episode of Discover Libya, and I hope to see you again on the next episode. Bye-bye.